The swimming and diving teams roll at home.
And the soccer teams start their NJAC championship run.
It's all access with the Profs, and it starts right now. Welcome to All Access, the show that's still on air, unlike Tyronn Lue's coaching career. I'm Derek Hill.
And I'm Rebecca Solzback. Although Lou is out, All Access is in with all your sports updates. Derek?
Thanks, Rebecca. The women's swimming and diving team hosted Arcadia University on Thursday. The team took first place in the 200 medley as well as the 200 freestyle. Veronica Alvarez won the 400 medley with a time of 4 minutes, 51.24 seconds. She would also get a first place finish in the 200 backstroke. Abigail Browse and Emily Kopchik would win the 50 free and the 200 breaststroke respectively. The team's multitude of top finishes would give them a 149-56 win in team points, helping them move to 1-1 on the season. The team takes on Montclair State on November 3rd.
The men's swimming and diving team also hosted Arcadia University on Thursday. The 200 medley relay team of Dan Lawton, Matt Grubb, Jake Kayati, and Kevin Galuli would win first place. The team of Galuli Lawton, Dylan Reagan, and Nate Wadowicz would be victorious in the 200 freestyle relay. Wadowicz and Galuli would continue the team's winning ways by taking first in the 50 and 100 free, respectively. In similar fashion to the women's team, the men's team would win 137-68, encompassing many first-place finishes along the way. The team takes on Montclair State on November 3rd.
The Rowan University volleyball team fell to Newman University on Friday, October 26th, with a final score of 3-1. In the opening stanza, Rowan fell to Newman 25-21. In the second set, the Profs came back and grabbed a 3-point lead to start it off. The second set ended 25-22, Rowan winning. The Profs had a 22-13 point lead in the third set, but the Knights tied the game at 23-23 and won 26-24. In the final set, Rowan fell behind early 7-2. They eventually lost the match with an end score of 25-14. Next, the Rowan women's volleyball team travels to Cabrini University on October 27th for a match starting at 2 p.m.
The Rowan University women's volleyball team lost to Cabrini University 3-0 on Saturday afternoon. The set scores were 25-9, 25-23, and 25-19. Outside hitter Megan Jacoby had 8 kills for Rowan. Setter Elena Santa Cruz compiled 11 assists, and setter Tori Mock followed with 10. Outside hitter Erin Keegan had 10 digs. Rowan is the second seed in the New Jersey Athletic Conference Championship Tournament. The Profs receive a bye in the first round and will host a semifinal game on Thursday, November 1st at 7 p.m.
The professional sports world rolls on as Kayla Santiago joins us for this week's Pro Talk.
Hello everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Pro Talk. I'm your host, Kayla Santiago, keeping you up to date with all the news happening in pro sports. Let's get started. The Philadelphia Eagles and the Jacksonville Jaguars travel to London to face off Week 8 on Sunday. 28 of NFL's 32 teams have played in London, and that number was raised to 29 when the Philadelphia Eagles made their first appearance at London. No team has played more games in London than the Jacksonville Jaguars. When looking at the London game outcomes, you will see that first-time teams in London often lose. But that wasn't the case with the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles beat the Jaguars 24-18 to improve to a 4-4 record. A lot of Eagles players stepped up this game, which included Josh Adams and Jordan Matthews. It is to be said that Adams was at the bottom of the rushing core and Matthews was at the bottom of the receiving core. But in this game, they proved that not to be true. Josh Adams had 61 rushing yards on 9 carries, leading the rushing core, and Jordan Matthews had 93 receiving yards on 4 carries, which led the receiving core. Josh Adams and Jordan Matthews showed what the next man up mentality is all about. Carson Wentz had 28 rushing yards himself and had a total of 286 yards while throwing 3 touchdowns on the day. The NFL trade deadline was at 4 p.m. on October 30th, and for the Eagles, everybody was wondering what Howie Roseman was going to do. Howie Roseman made his move and landed wide receiver Golden Tate from the Detroit Lions for a 3rd-round pick. Golden Tate has 517 yards, 44 receptions, and 3 touchdowns so far on the season. Golden Tate will be another great weapon in the receiving corps for Carson Wentz. The Philadelphia Eagles have a bye week this week, but will pick up on Week 10 against their biggest rival, the Dallas Cowboys, on November 11th. The World Series of Baseball has been decided as the Boston Red Sox took 4-1 against the Los Angeles Dodgers to become the World Series champions of baseball. Red Sox Steve Pearce wound up being the World Series MVP on Sunday night after hitting 2 runs that sent the Red Sox over the Dodgers 5-1 in Game 5. Traded from Toronto to the Red Sox in late June, Pearce delivered his 2 key hits in 2 straight games against the Dodgers. On Saturday, he launched a tying home run in the 8th inning, then added a 3-run double in the 9th that sent Boston to a 9-6 win in Game 4. Pearce, at 35 years old, got the Red Sox rolling in the clincher, connecting for a 2-run homer off Clayton Kershaw in the 1st inning. He clapped his October spree with a solo drive off Pedro Baez in the 8th. Overall, the first baseman went 4 for 12 and drove in 8 runs. After winning the 2018 World Series, the Boston Red Sox won their 9th World Series championship title in franchise history. Tyronn Lue has been the head coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers since 2016. On Sunday, October 28, 2018, Lue was fired after the team's 0-6 start on the season. Cavaliers assistant head coach Larry Drew has been asked to take over the head coaching position, but says that he is very disappointed that the team has not reconstructed his contract. Drew has asked for guarantees if he's going to take over the rebuilding team, but as of Tuesday evening, the Cavaliers had not given him any. Drew said the Cavaliers have told him it's possible they'll bring in a full-time replacement for Lue. If that happens, he would slide back to his assistant's role. The team has been a disappointment so far this season. It's first since LeBron James left the 2nd time as a free agent. The Philadelphia Sixers had a great win over the Atlanta Hawks on Monday night, 113-92. Ben Simmons led the team with 21 points and Markelle Fultz had 16 points on the night. The Sixers then went on to play the division rival, the Toronto Raptors, on Tuesday night. The Sixers lost to the Raptors 129-112, which was a game the Sixers did not play well whatsoever. Toronto's defense, led by Kawhi Leonard, caused the Sixers to turn the ball over a massive 23 times. Apart from Joel Embiid, no player got into a steady offensive rhythm for the Sixers. On a positive note for the Sixers, Joel Embiid's start to the 2018-2019 NBA season has been nothing short of spectacular. His red-hot start continued during the Philadelphia 76ers win 105-103 over the Charlotte Hornets, as the 24-year-old racked up his 6th straight double-double to start the year. Not only that, but the 27-point, 14-rebound performance also meant that his string of games with 20-plus points was extended to 6. With a huge game, Embiid became the first player in franchise history to score 20-plus points and record 10 or more rebounds in 6 start games. That's all I have for you on this week's Pro Talk. Stay tuned for after the break as Mo sits down with the members of the women's swim team for this week's Rowan Roundtable.
Welcome back to All Access. It's time for our Rowan Roundtable. Joining me today are Gabby Gliger and Carly Timmons from the women's swimming and diving team. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
So my first question would be, what made you love swimming?
I've just been swimming for so long. Like, it's always been a part of my life. I love exercising. Swimming's a lot of cardio, and I like pushing myself, so swimming is better than running.
Yeah, I've done swim my entire life, and I feel like I've made a lot of immediate friends from swim, because once you start, it's everyone's just together all the time, so you're kind of forced to be friends with everyone, so it's immediate friends right away.
So Carly, I know Gabby just said she's been swimming for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you been swimming?
I started swimming when I was 7 years old, so I guess 13 years now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So just out of curiosity, because it's people that are our age that can't swim now. So what made you want to start swimming at such a young age?
Well, my dad actually used to swim, so when I was 7 years old, me and my sister were both put in a bunch of different sports like soccer and dancing and swimming is just what I stuck with. My dad comes to all my meets and stuff, so it's a whole family activity.
Yeah, it's the same with me. My mom swam for Rutgers, so she's always been a big swimming person. So my sister and I have been swimming our entire life, so that's what got us into it.
So do you guys feel pressure to swim, with family background?
I don't think it's pressure. It's more of I want to make my dad proud, or both my parents proud, and even if I don't do good, he still supports me and everything. So I don't think it's pressure, but
I felt like mine was kind of pressured because my mom swam, so she was like very big into having my sister and I swim. But after doing it for so long, I came to like love the sport, so I don't really feel pressured by it anymore. I know my mom will like support me with like anything.
Okay. So this season, you guys have had two meets so far. You split, one loss, one win. What are your hopes for the rest of the season?
Well, hopefully continue to win more meets, like win all the meets in our NJAC, which is like our conference. We've a good chance of getting some girls to like NCAAs this year, which is like nationals, which is like would be like a first in a while for the Rowan swim and dive team. Yeah.
Yeah, Brad's like really pushing the girls to train hard to get to NCAAs. We haven't had girls go to NCAAs in a while. Since I've been here for the 4 years, we haven't had girls. So the guys go every year, so Brad's very big on pushing us to make it this year.
Okay. So continuing with your season, what would you guys say your hardest match will be this year and why?
Our hardest meet will probably be Montclair this weekend, actually, because in our conference, we make it a goal to win our conference, obviously. So Montclair in the conference is probably the hardest matchup.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that.
So going back to learning how to swim, what was the first stroke you finally mastered? To say that I got this one down pat.
Probably freestyle. Yeah.
Mine was backstroke. I was always a backstroker, and then once I came here, Brad made me a butterflyer. So now that's my best stroke, but it was always backstroke before.
Okay, so what would you say the hardest stroke to train for is?
Definitely butterfly. I don't really know anything about butterfly because it's so hard, but she swims butterfly,
Yeah,
so.
that's all I swim. It's definitely the hardest one because you're using your entire body. It's a lot of like shoulders, so my shoulders like kill after like every practice. So I would say butterfly is definitely the hardest.
So would you say butterfly is only meant for certain people?
I feel like anyone can do it. Like, everyone on our team can do a stroke of butterfly, but I don't know.
So Carly, other than freestyle, what's your favorite stroke?
I don't really, I only swim distance freestyle. I've actually never swam another stroke in a Rowan meet besides freestyle. But like I used to swim backstroke, but I'm just not good. I'm just not good at other strokes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So freestyle is your go-to.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. So what would you say for people that can't swim? What was the easiest stroke to master?
I mean, breaststroke is probably the easiest stroke, just to like, commonly do, I guess. But like freestyle is pretty easy to get right too. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like freestyle is probably the easiest. I feel like a lot of people who don't know how to swim can only swim freestyle and like not other strokes, so I feel like freestyle is the easiest.
That is all the time we have for this Rowan Roundtable. I would like to thank Gabby and Carly for joining me. Derek and Rebecca, back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Mo. Let's shoot for the back of the net with the soccer teams. Derek?
Thanks, Rebecca. The men's soccer team hosted Stockton University on Saturday for the opening round of the NJAC Championship Tournament. Rowan got on the board right out of the gate with a goal from Ryan Campbell in the 15th minute. Campbell would score again just 11 minutes later, heading in a ball from a corner kick by Aaron Robertson. Campbell would cap off the hat trick in the 56th minute when he scored on a penalty kick. The team would ride Campbell's great game to a 4-2 victory, advancing to the NJAC semifinals. They would go on the road to play Montclair State on Tuesday.
The Rowan University women's soccer team defeated Keene University 3-0 in the NJAC Championship Tournament semifinals on Wednesday night. Rowan took a 2-0 lead in the end of the first half. Forward Daria Jones scored on a cross from midfielder Sarah Rosenberg. Midfielder Dara Wagner scored on a pass from forward Aiden Shan. Dara Wagner scored the third and final goal of the game. The Profs had 25 shots and the Cougars had 8. Goalie Shelby Money stopped 5 shots, including a penalty kick leading to her 8th shutout. Following this game, on November 3rd, Rowan will travel to the College of New Jersey for the conference final at 6 p.m.
On Tuesday, the Rowan University men's soccer team fell short in the semifinals of the NJAC Championship Tournament. Rowan lost to Montclair State University with a final score of 4-3. The Red Hawks took a 1-0 lead in the 20th minute. Rowan then responded as forward Ryan Campbell scored off of a penalty kick. which tied the game 1-1. Montclair State earned a penalty kick and scored to take a 2-1 lead. The Redhawks then pulled ahead 4-1. The Profs attempted to come back with 2 more goals made by Shane Doherty and another by Ryan Campbell, but they could not get another. Rowan ended the season with a 12-7 record. This game concluded the Rowan men's soccer season.
The Rowan University football team fell to Salisbury University in the New Jersey Athletic Conference action, 45-7 on Saturday. Salisbury dominated the game on the ground as it ran for a total of 496 yards. The Profs fell behind early in the opening quarter when the Seagulls scored on their first drive. The Brown and Gold stumbled in the second as the Seagulls pulled away 24-0. The Profs struggled offensively as the Salisbury defense shut down every attempt. Salisbury tackled on 3 more touchdowns in the second half to build a 45-0 advantage. The Profs did not give up as they were able to string together a successful drive in which they scored. Quarterback Riley Giles found wide receiver Nick Grosso in the end zone of a 5-yard pass to set the final score to 45-7. The Profs are now 5-4 and 4-3 in the NJAC. Rowan travels to Montclair State University next Saturday, October 3rd, with kickoff set at 1 p.m.
After the break, our Isla Gideon sits down with more members of the women's swim team in this week's Prof Spotlight.
Welcome back to All Access. Time for this week's Prof Spotlight. Join me, are Megan Miller and Alex Bamberg from the women's swimming and diving team. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Yep, of course. So if you could choose between starting your current season over again or your freshman year swim career, which one would you choose?
I would say my freshman year, just because everything was so new and it was a lot of fun because you didn't really have anything to expect and you got to make the most of what it was.
I would choose freshman year also, just because I've made so many great memories. I'd love to be able to relive that again.
Great. So how has been your student athlete, how has it been like that on campus so far?
The Rowan athletics community is really tightly knit. You get to meet a lot of other athletes and you get to become really close friends with not only people on the swim team, but on basketball team and lacrosse and volleyball, and you get to make a lot of friends.
Nice.
It's really cool being able to just walk around campus and just see all the different athletes, since we all have the same backpack. We try to see who is who, but
Right.
It's cool knowing everybody.
So how has been your transition from being an underclassman on the team to being upperclassman?
Being an upperclassman, you kind of get looked up on more because, the freshmen are new, the sophomores are fairly new, and they come to you for advice, so you have to be prepared for, giving the right advice and telling them what to do and kind of holding each other accountable.
Are there more responsibilities and practices and stuff?
Yeah, I would say so. You have to be there for your teammates and cheer for them and kind of get them up and going.
All right. So what were some highlights against NYU? I know that was a loss for us, but definitely you guys pushed through.
It was a great first meet for us. We knew it was going to be a hard one, but we had some great times for it being the first meet of the season, and our freshmen did a really good job being in their first college meet and everything.
Yeah, it was good all-around energy.
Great. I know that was really exciting for y'all. What do you think could have been done to secure a win?
I think we needed to work on our finishes because we got out-touched in a couple of our races by less than a second. So I think if we were able to kind of have better finishes and out-touch the other NYU swimmers, we would have been at least a little closer in the scores or could have potentially won.
All right. What are some team expectations for the meet against Montclair this upcoming Saturday?
There's some pretty high expectations for us just because of years past, us beating them and everything.
Right.
But this year's supposed to be the closest of all 3 years for us so far. So as long as we just do what we've been practicing, we should be fine.
What are some personal goals for you guys this season?
I think to finally bring some girls to NCAAs because we haven't really had that any time soon in the past, and if we can get a relay or even an individual girl to go, it will look really good.
How do you think you can accomplish that goal?
I think if we all work really hard and practice and we really race in the meets, if the relay races in the meets hard like they would do at our championship meet, then we could be definitely ready for NCAAs.
To basically bring that same energy.
Yeah,
All right.
always.
All right. So if you could choose a different swim stroke, what would it be to compete in?
I would be a sprinter because I swim distance, so it's a lot of laps. I would definitely like to be able to sprint better because I'm not as good at it, but sprinting would probably be my choice.
All right. I'm already a sprinter and I like that pretty much, but I'd probably work on mid-distance a little bit because it helps with some of the other events.
And as a distance swimmer, how do you take yourself out of mentality? Is it like a...
It's harder because it's a different type of race. You have to be able to kind of pace yourself and know your time and know where you're at throughout. And I can definitely get a little discouraged through it because it is a lot of laps compared to the other races. But I definitely have been able to push through.
Right. Any pro athletes that you look up to?
I personally look up to Kathleen Baker. She's a backstroker and an Olympian, and I also swim backstroke, so she's somebody that I really do look up to.
And what do you take away from her strategies and the way she performs?
Well, she's in college. She swims for UCal, so she definitely is up there in the swimming status, but she's definitely somebody that I look up to because she swims the same strokes as I do.
Right. What about yourself?
Probably either just like Michael Phelps or Katie Ledecky. Katie Ledecky because she's our age and in college with right now with us. But Michael Phelps because he was a sprinter and it was just seeing him being able to push through all of his all the problems he's had. It's really motivating.
He's iconic amongst all swimmers. It doesn't matter if you even know the slightest bit of information about swim, you know about Michael Phelps, right? You delivered Arcadia's first loss of the season, so congrats. Let's talk about that meet.
It was a fun meet because not only were the coaches Rowan alumni, we got to see our old friends, but it was definitely brought us up from a first win for the season, and we all got to kind of get that feeling of racing and winning back.
It was also different because we usually don't swim what we were swimming in that meet, so it was a lot of off events and everything, so it was kind of cool to be able to swim something different for once.
And way to go, secure one with that too.
Yeah.
All right. Matter of fact, how do you prepare yourself for each swim meet?
I listen to music. It helps me get pumped up and motivated.
Are we listening to fast-paced music or listen to classical?
No, fast-paced music.
Yeah.
How about yourself?
I always have my headphones on going to the meet, but then I always just stretch a lot right before all my races just to get ready.
And teammates too. Teammates help you out. They always are there talking to you behind the blocks, getting you pumped up. They're all really motivating.
Are there any pre-game rituals that the team does, like a cool chant or anything of the sort?
We made a team cheer this year, but it's not the best.
Hey, it's something.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes to get the team motivated. Would you care to elaborate? Did you guys come up with it, or?
Yeah, we had to make it from scratch during one of our
Ooh,
practices.
so it's from scratch. It's not like a song or anything.
No.
All right. Okay. Matter of fact, tell me about the team and what do they mean to you?
They're like my family. We're all really close, and even not just the women's swim team, it's the boys too. I can go to anybody for anything, and they're always there to talk, and everyone's really motivating and kind of helps out with each other.
It's really cool because our grade being the biggest grade this year, a bunch of us are living together.
Wow.
And always being able just to walk right next door and be with somebody else. You always have a friend to be with.
Oh, that sounds so sweet. An ideal end to the season would be what?
Obviously to win NJACs again and to win our Mets championship, and then also to have girls to NCAAs, because I think that would show how well we really are and how much this team is improving.
Any advice you give to the freshmen when they compete for their meets?
Just not to be nervous, just to have fun with it, because the nerves is really what messes people up. I know when I was a freshman, I was always really scared. But as long as they just don't get in their heads and just do what they've been practicing, they should be fine.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really excited for you guys this Saturday.
Thank you.
That is all the time we have. I'd like to thank Megan and Alex for coming. Derek and Rebecca, back to you at the desk.
Welcome back to All Access. Let's take the field with some more highlights. Rebecca?
Thanks, Derek. On Friday night at the senior game, the Rowan University field hockey team shut out FDU Florham. The final score was 3-0. Each goal was scored in the second half of the game. Forward Rachel Galante had the Profs' first goal. She also had the assist on the second goal around 10 minutes later, made by Christina Castagnola. Midfielder Liz Fox scored the final goal for Rowan. The Profs had 23 shots while the Devils had 2. Rowan goalie Morgan Novak had 2 saves for her 4th shutout. Rowan University is the top seed in the NJAC Championship Tournament and will host a semifinal game on October 31st at 7 p.m. versus Stockton University.
The Rowan University field hockey team advanced to the final of the New Jersey Athletic Conference Championship Tournament after a 3-0 win over Stockton University on Wednesday night. All three of the Profs' goals came in the second half. Back Casey Wagner scored with a shot just inside the circle after midfielder Bridget Boyle took a penalty corner. Midfielder Christina Castagnola hit the cage from 5 yards with a shot that went over the goalie. Back Julie Johnson had the assist. Forward Rachel Gallant blasted a shot for the third goal. It was Gallant's 25th goal on the season and the 17th assist for Johnson. Goalie Morgan Novak recorded her 5th shutout. Rowan hosts the College of New Jersey in the championship on Saturday, November 3rd at 1 p.m.
The men's cross-country team competed at the NJAC Championships on Saturday. Daniel Fitch-Henry won the individual conference title, posting a time of 26 minutes, 10.27 seconds on the 8K race. Cyril Harvey would come behind him in second, while Matt Russo would finish 5th. The team would come in second place for the meet.
The Rowan University women's cross-country team took second place at the New Jersey Athletic Conference Championships on Saturday. Madison Edwards was the first prof to score. She finished 7th and had a time of 23 minutes, 57.24 seconds over the 6K course. Hannah Vendetta followed 8th with a time of 24 minutes, 3.56 seconds, and Carly Toole followed 9th with a time of 24 minutes, 4.31 seconds. Jennifer Clavens came in 15th, Lindsay Hofschneider was 16th, Diane Ferraro finished 22nd, and Joe Carter finished 27th.
That's all we have for this episode of All Access. For Mo Ware, Ayala Gideon, Kayla Santiago, and Derek Hill, I'm Rebecca Solzbach. We'll see you next time on All Access.